I actually could not wait to record this video. I'm trying to do like one video a week, but I've been having people say, I hope the next video in the series is coming soon, so that is motivating me to like get this out to you guys sooner. I wanted to start off this video with a question. I know I can't be the only one who had this experience. Do you remember when you're about to go into high school and you're coming out of middle school and you ask yourself, do I want to go into high school as the same kid that everybody knows as being, I don't know, goofy or unserious or a teacher's pet or whatever it may be? Or do I want to reinvent myself? Is that like a universal experience for a teenager, or was it just me? I don't know. But that's the kind of thought process I want you to have when thinking about branding. Every person, every business, and every organization has a brand, or you could also think of it as a reputation. And this could be intentional or it could be left completely up to chance. So chances are, in my example, when you're in middle school, you're just kind of being your goofy preteen self. And then when you're about to start high school, you're thinking, maybe I want to be more sophisticated, maybe I want to be more cool, maybe I want to rebrand myself and like actually put some intention into how others perceive me, because of course as you get older you start to get more self-conscious. And I don't want you guys to think I'm talking about being fake, because actually a lot of preteens are also very fake and they're trying to be goofy just to get attention. So it's not about being fake versus being authentic, it's about being intentional versus being not intentional. So the brand for yourself, for your business, for your organization is essentially what other people perceive you as. And in this video, I'm going to show you how to make it hyper clear what you're all about. So this video is part of this series and it's structured like a premium course, but it's free to you here on YouTube. And because it's a course, I made a workbook for it. So if you want to grab the workbook, there's a link in the description of this video. You're going to get a lot of good resources that are going to help you achieve the tasks that I'm going to tell you to do in this video and in the future videos and in the last video, okay? So the workbook is not done yet because it's going with the series. So the pages are going to self-update to include the future workbooks as they become available. This is the second video in the series, so if you haven't watched the first one, definitely go back and strategize your business. And in my last video, I got a comment that I wanted to share with you guys today, and I wanted to kind of address this idea. So the comment said, I'm reading on my screen here, when a business is created simply to make money, any business will do. Sometimes creating businesses to chase money is like creating cats to chase mice. Sure, you'll eat for the day, but I found it's better serving purpose and value-driven products and services that align with your core purpose that you were individually created to do. You were definitely created, just food for thought. Well, thank you for that comment, and I totally agree. So I just want to clarify on my sentiment on this because I agree with the comment and I want to put this on the record. Despite my agreeing with everything he said, this series specifically is answering the question that you guys wanted to know from this poll right here of how to make money using AI. So this whole series is dedicated to specifically how to make money. It's not about how to find your purpose or how to have happiness or fulfillment in life. And I personally get my fulfillment, happiness, and joy from a higher power that's inside of me, not from any numbers that are going to be on my banking app. Money does not buy happiness, but this specific series is about how to make money using AI. So even though money doesn't buy happiness, it certainly pays the bills. And I know a lot of us need to pay our bills. So that's why I'm specifically talking about how to make money using AI in this series and how to start an AI business. And just for the record as well, if you are not focused on making money in a business, you don't have a business. If your business isn't profiting, your business is a failure. I'm sorry. If you just want to do something out of pure passion and you don't care about money, then it's much easier to start a hobby, and I highly recommend that. And with that said, I also do recommend that everyone create their AI business with their passions and with their interests in mind. And of course, it needs to solve a problem for the audience. Otherwise, you also don't have a business. So it does need to help people. It has to, otherwise nobody's going to buy anything from your business. So I hope that clears everything up. And again, if you want to go into how to come up with a good AI business idea, watch my last video, and you're going to focus on start with your passions and your interests, and then you're going to focus on viability and demand. And is there a need for a solution of a problem that your business is solving for a particular audience? So we're going to go a little bit deeper into audience in this video because audience is key in branding, but I just wanted to get that out of the way and clarify on my personal stance and also what this series is truly about. So I'm really excited to talk about branding today because branding is something I've been doing in my business since I started my business back in 2018. I've got my Canva hat hat on today because we're going to be using Canva, one of my favorite tools today, and I'm a professional graphic designer. I went to graphic design school in Italy and I have a master's in it. So when I first learned branding for the first time, I was learning it in a classroom setting. We were going to do a real brand identity project for a real Italian brand, and I really got a deep dive from a graphic design perspective. But what I loved about branding is that it combines creativity, storytelling, and business all into one. So it's a really fun element of this process and probably my favorite part of the process. But I know that not all of you guys watching are professional graphic designers like me, so that's why I use Canva, because when I show things on Canva, I feel like everybody can figure it out and make something very nice on their own too with no design skills. So all these tips are based on the pretense that your business is going to be using AI generated video content to market your business. And with that comes a risk that people are going to look at your brand and they're going to think it doesn't look legit or it doesn't look credible. So we're going to know that objection, and we're going to combat that with quality branding, okay? And I'm going to show you how. We don't want your brand to look cheap. We don't want your brand to look, I don't know, like the whole thing is just AI generated. It needs to look like a real brand that's just using AI videos as a tool for storytelling and for communication, which is what we're doing. Okay, so now I'm going to go through the list of things that you should definitely do to embed credibility into your brand, which is what we want. So the first thing you want to do is choose a memorable name. Don't just call your brand something random or something that just doesn't sound legit. It needs to be memorable, it needs to sound professional. The second thing that adds credibility is having a website with a .com or a .co. All the other website endings like .info or .whatever, not good. You can use .ai as well, but I wouldn't do that unless the whole product that you were selling or the business was specifically about AI, not just because you're using AI video. Just stick to .com and .co and just only go with those, and choose a brand name where those are still available. If you want to check if your brand name is still available, go to spaceship.com. There's a link down below. You can buy your domain names for a really good price. I highly recommend that company to buy domain names. So the third thing is having that business email account. I also recommend going to spaceship.com for email. It's really affordable and it works really well. And so the email that you want to have is going to be something like support@yourwebsite.com or hello@yourwebsite.co or something like that. You can also use a real human name for the email. So I could put Brittany@hypersleeplab.com, and that would add even more credibility. I would only suggest using a name if it's going to be your actual name or whoever's actually responding to emails. Don't put like a fake name just to add the human element. Keep it real. All right, the next thing is value-focused content. This is very important, okay? Your content needs to provide value, and that's gonna add credibility to your brand. So in later videos, I'm gonna show you exactly how to make the AI marketing content that you're gonna be putting out, and then that will be more important then. But for now, we just need to keep in mind that we're going to be providing value-based content. It should be educational, or it should have stories that are really entertaining to people, and it should provide some kind of value, and it should be consistent across the board with what you're doing. All right, the next thing is thinking about your aesthetic. Your aesthetic should be professional, it should be minimal, it should be sleek, because you are going to be using AI videos. So you do want to look like an innovative, forward-thinking company. No matter what your niche is, it needs to feel innovative and forward-thinking, and that's kind of your reasoning for using AI videos in the first place. So when it comes to your aesthetic, going minimal and going polished is definitely the winner. You can do something that's more eclectic, but I just wouldn't recommend it for a brand that's using AI content, because professionalism and credibility needs to be the highest priority. All right, so the next thing is thinking about your brand colors. And in graphic design school, we were obviously taught color psychology. There are different meanings behind different colors and different vibes. Blue typically evokes trust and professionalism. Black and white evoke minimalism or sophistication or even precision. Silver is also precision. Gold evokes luxury. Orange and yellow are more like action and speed-oriented colors. Red evokes emotion and love, and it can also be energy and like life force, like blood or something. Green is typically a forward-thinking or environmental color, and then purple does symbolize innovation. So there are a variety of colors that you can use, but the key is to keep it minimal to like a few different colors and choose the right tones of the colors. So I'll show you what that looks like in the tutorial. So the next is your fonts. You want to choose something that's sleek and minimal. There's a type of font that's called a sans serif font, which looks like this, versus a serif font, which looks like that. And you don't want to have too many different types of fonts. You can choose either one, but if you want something that's minimal, then I would go with the sans serif. If you must have a stylized font because it really goes with the aesthetic that you're trying to go for, something like this permanent marker look or something really cursive-y, you can do that, but I think use it very, very minimally and stick to sans serif if you can. And definitely don't use a bunch of different types of fonts. Even if they're all sans serif fonts, like just use one. All right, the next thing is your brand voice. It needs to be a realistic AI voice, but it's not just that. It's when you're writing the scripts for your videos, which AI is probably going to write for you, ChatGPT, you need to make sure to put in the prompt to speak conversationally and casually, and this will add a little bit of humanism to your AI avatars. So the next tip for adding credibility is making sure that your logo is on all your stuff. So that might mean adding a watermark to your social media video so that people know that you actually made it and it's not just like stolen and copy pasted from some other AI thing, and putting your logo on all of your downloads. That really adds professionalism and legitimacy to your brand. And the last tip for credibility is social proof, and social proof is very strong. So these are the two types of social proof that I recommend. They are testimonials and also press features, and it's not too hard to get both of them. When it comes to the testimonials, so like I said in my last video, these are going to be affiliate products, so these aren't really products that you make. So I wouldn't recommend putting product reviews on your website because they're technically someone else's product, but what you can put reviews for are your freebies. So in a later video, I'm going to show you how to make a freebie that you're going to give to people, and then I want you to get testimonials for that freebie and put those on your website. So having testimonials just looks really good and makes you look a lot more credible. And then for press, I could do a whole video just on press alone. It's not that hard to get press features, but just so I don't gatekeep and don't leave you hanging, basically the strategy is that you're going to want to go on a website like Fiverr.com and you can hire people to write articles about your brand. And the article's not going to be like, here's a new brand, look at me. It's going to be like, here are some educational tips similar to what you're going to put in your videos. And then it's going to be an article that lists your business in it so that you can say your business was listed in this publication. I hope that makes sense. All right, so now let's get into the hands-on part where I go through and do these for my client's business and show you what I've done. So in this section, I'm going to be using two different tools that I have created and I am giving away for free to those who took advantage of the workbook. If you don't, go to the link in the description. It's pay whatever you want. And in there are links to two different resources that I'm going to be using here, and they're going to save you a lot of time. So the first one is called the AI Business Brand Studio. And there you can just plug in your business topic and it's going to help you get all the text that you're going to need to do this branding process. And then the second tool is your brand board, which is a Canva template. Okay. So here are the steps on how to design a brand. So if you open your workbook to page 6, then here you'll find this AI Business Brand worksheet, and at the top there's a button that says Use AI Studio. So this is an AI studio that I built where you can just basically enter all the details that you brainstormed in the last video, and it's going to give you a whole bunch of suggestions for branding from here on out. So it starts with brand name suggestions if you're not sure about the one that you have in mind or if you don't have one in mind. It also has some tagline suggestions if you don't have one in mind, or if you do, it will suggest more for you. And then if you like what you see, you can just go ahead and copy and paste these elements right into your worksheet and just decide on your branding just like that. So I didn't like the name suggestions that it gave me because I already had a name that we had decided on, which was Hyper Sleep Lab, and the tagline that I thought of, Better Sleep Starts Tonight. We have the website domain, hypersleeplab.com, so I could check the box. We've got the business email, support@hypersleeplab.com. So I'm going to go ahead and check the box. And then there's all this information about the target audience and their buying motivators, the brand voice, and I'm just going to copy and paste everything over here. And then once you're done with that, then you're ready to go ahead and start designing your logo and your brand board. And you're going to use all this information as inspiration for what to design in your logo and your visual branding. So now let's start designing your logo. If you go to the next page, there's a link to where it says start a logo design, and that's going to take you right into Canva. This is the one I already made, but it will take you to a blank page. And I suggest just going to the logo templates here on the left, typing in keywords related to your brand, and then just starting with the template and customizing it. That is my non-designer advice. Definitely customize it as much as you can so that it's almost indistinguishable from the original template. Like, don't just use this template and save it and call it a day. Like, change the colors, change the fonts, just use it as a base. Here are some different examples of other logos that I designed for this brand that the client said no to. There were some other ones that I also liked, but ultimately I think we picked a really good one here at the end. So once you have your logo design, then you're going to basically copy and paste it into your brand board template. There is a link to a blank template on page 7 of your workbook, and I already copy and pasted the logo and some of the colors, but now what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy and paste the color codes. So every color has a 6-character code, it's letters and numbers, and this will help you to identify the colors on the spectrum, and you're going to use these color codes in the future when you're updating all of your brand materials. So it's really good to have those numbers visible and able to be copied and pasted. Then I'm going to copy over the name of the font, and I'm going to change the font into that font so that you can see what it's supposed to look like. So now I've changed it from the original template font to Poppins for that one, and this one is going to be Montserrat. And you might have to wiggle the letters around if when you change the font it ends up looking funny, but just be aware of that. And I'm also going to make this bold because I think I'm going to end up using that one as the header font, and that one would be like the body font for a paragraph. So then I'm going to design my mood board, and this is going to be some imagery styles that I want to kind of use as the aesthetic for this brand. So it's going to be a man sleeping, a smartwatch tracking, an alarm clock, and like a DNA strand to symbolize biohacking. And then you can go ahead and change the colors of these little rectangles and type in your 3 favorite brand tone words, and all combined I call this a mood board. So that is my little mood board down there. And this is just really good to have as a point of reference for you and for your team if you have a team, so that people can know kind of what the brand is supposed to be symbolizing. That is the purpose of a brand board. So I'm a little bit of a perfectionist when it comes to colors, so I'm actually going to manipulate the colors of my photos and make sure everything looks blue. Take out some of the orange tones and just make it look all kind of in the same color palette as the logo. So you can always manipulate the photos. Maybe for your brand you want to use more black and white photos. Maybe you want to use more bright colors. It just depends on what you're going for. So we're going for something kind of dark and masculine, and we're really going to use this blue as a theme. So this is my final brand board for Hyper Sleep Lab, and the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to save this brand board as a PDF document. Now you can also save it as a JPEG or a PNG, but I advise a PDF because you're going to want to be able to copy and paste those color codes in the future. So that's the only reason I suggest PDF, because with that one you can actually select text and copy and paste it. Okay, that was all for this video. I hope that was helpful. I wonder how long this video is going to end up being. You can get access to my AI brand studio and the brand board template that I created in Canva, and that's going to be in the workbook for this little YouTube course that I've created on how to make an AI business step by step. In the next video, I'm going to be covering how to build the website. So if you thought this was informative, wait till you see the next video. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and be sure to subscribe to my channel because I'm going to be putting out the whole series in the next couple weeks, and you're going to be able to start a business from start to finish, and it's going to be profitable and not just part of your, passions, but it's also going to make you money. That is the goal with this business. All right, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one.